Hello everyone, today is Monday, August 6th. It's 2:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's midday in the market, and I'm making today's video quite early, and I'm going to try to do this as much as possible so that you can see the Autotrader with live trades. Sometimes we're in open positions as we are on this first chart I'm showing you. On my right is my computer clock, and you can see the date and time, and then on my left is the time in sales. The Emini S&P currently trading at 2848.50. Okay, first up we have an open position on the Emini S&P 5-minute chart, just a straight 5-minute chart, and we've seen this chart many times before. Our closed P&L is 500, and this dipped and is starting to come back, and the open P&L is 387.50 or 400. And this one has a filter so that we do not take a reversal just because we have a red bar. This actually takes the trade and then follows its money management. A red bar, blue bar strategy like this requires risk management. Any good strategy should have risk management. Professional traders look at volatility. It's a valid concept. And professional traders also look how to control risk. They don't focus so much on the winnings, but they focus on risk, because if you can manage your risk, the winners will take care of themselves if they are larger than the losers. You could have a strategy that is only profitable 50% of the time, but if your winners are larger than your losers, it'll be a profitable strategy. So anyway, this is an open position. This is what the Autotrader looks like. Here's the stop limit up here. You know, with the click of the button, you can move the stop. I'm sorry, this is our second target. The stop limit is down here. With the click of the mouse, I can move the stop closer like that. And I could close a position. This would bring a sell order just below the bar here if I click one of these buttons here. You can also hit the close positions button if you ever wanted to just close a position. But anyway, this is a really strong profit for 2 contracts. Okay, next up is a line break chart. The 987 tick line break, we've seen this chart a lot. This drew down about 300 per contract. You can see it here. And we currently have a closed P&L of 237.50 and an open P&L of 300. This is trading 3 contracts. It's currently short. It looks like it's going to get stopped out here with a little bit of a profit. Here was our entry. Here's our line break bar, the line break signal right here, and then a close below, and we went short. The order is to go short at the close of the bar, and you can see how that was filled. Okay, once again, the DAX is on fire. The 150 Heikin-Ashi chart on the DAX has been very consistent for us, and here is this familiar pattern we always talk about, a back-to-back winning trades, a short and a long in this case. And just want you to take note of the indicator signals, just fantastic signals on the indicators. This could be smoothed out by just increasing the sensitivity or the smoothing a little bit, but generally very tradable signals if you were to just trade the indicators via discretion. And so while the Autotrader missed this move here, it probably didn't get filled on its limit order. We had 2 winners and no losers, and our goal on this is 25.50 with a loss limit of 1,500, so really nice ratio on this one, and just really solid performance on this chart. Okay, next is the DAX on a Super Renko 14 tick chart. This did 1887.50. It probably hit its goal at 2,000 and had some slippage. It was up and down off the start here, made an equity high of about $1,300, $1,400, and then it drew down to minus 500 and then came back and hit its goal. So a little bit of volatility here, ultimately coming back, but we can see the signals here on the indicators. On Renko bars, the indicator signals are quite good, as you can see here. So the DAX on the Super Renko 14 tick has also been very consistent for us. Okay, this is the DAX on 150 line break chart, and this was obviously prematurely stopped out. This is a huge bar here. Not sure why it's so long. It might have to do with when I turned the Autotrader on and data and so forth, or it might have been a surge, not a surge, but a trend, and it took that long for the bar to close. In any case, the order is a limit with a pullback of 5, and my money management, in spite of this big length here, my money management is clearly too tight, trailing this stop at 50%, 50 ticks, 10%. That's just not suitable for this chart. So I'm going to have a look at this and change the money management to allow this to have a little more room to move. Okay, so I just figured out why this bar is so big. I mistakenly have the line break set at 34, and that's why these bars are so large, and it should not be like that. But what's interesting is how smooth and how large the trends are with that many line breaks. It's really smoothing it out. So with the line break chart, you can set the number of line breaks. So obviously I need to change this. That's not the intention on this chart. Okay, so I've changed the number of line breaks here to 3, and this allows us to get in the move much earlier. Here's that long and short move here, and there's a little bit of noise here. This could be filtered out by the precision trend by raising the sensitivity. You could probably turn these bars blue right up here where it pulled back, and just give it a moment to refresh. Okay, so I raised the sensitivity to 3, and we gave up a little bit on the early signal, but what it did is it smoothed out the trend here. So I hope you all can see that. This is a really unique feature of Blue Wave, the ability to smooth out line break like this and make for more continuity in the signals. So these would be reversals here, these would be reversals and whipsaws, but that's if it was a lower sensitivity, and these bars are normally red. These are reversals on the line break chart. So is this. This would make for getting filled on your limit order and such. So this might be a pretty good setting. You can also change the number of line breaks, and so if I go to like 4 line breaks, you get a different look. Okay, so here's the chart with 4 line breaks, and now that little pullback here, instead of being filtered out, it's not a pullback at all. It's just a smoother trend. And scrolling back on the chart, looks a little smoother on the trend. You will sacrifice sometimes some ticks on your entry, but this looks like a pretty clean chart for line break, so I'm going to keep these settings and test it out. Okay, next up is the crude oil on a precision Renko with a 150 reversal. I stopped showing this chart for a while and brought it back, and since I've been watching it again, it's winning almost every day, if not every day. This had a drawdown of about 300 per contract and then recovered to close at 680. And this is using our line break logic applied to the precision Renko bars. So it imposes the rules for line break on this chart, and these are the line break signals here. So both have to be in agreement. Okay, so the corresponding chart on a Super Renko 8 tick to the precision Renko 150 would be the Super Renko 8, and this did 980. It had that similar drawdown, albeit probably not at the same time, and recovered from that and did 980. The goal on this is 1,000. So it had 1 tick slippage per contract. Okay, this is a 34 tick line break chart. So this is a pretty fast chart for the DAX. So if you were going for smaller goals, you might use a smaller chart with fairly tight settings. But this had a minimal drawdown here, made an equity high of about 600 or so, actually about 850 right here, 800 perhaps, and then came up and it looks like it hit its goal of 1500 and probably had some slippage. Nevertheless, very solid performance on this chart. Once again, by adjusting your line breaks, making 4 line breaks, or increasing the sensitivity, you could smooth out some of these vibrations in the market here. Okay, coming back to our 5-minute chart, it looks like it's making some progress off the bottom here. And now the open P&L is almost $500. Okay, next up is the Emini S&P on a Super Renko 4 tick with a Super Renko 6 tick as a higher time frame. Looks like this had 3 trades, 2 winners and a loser here. And this came up and did 500 for the day. Pretty nice looking chart here. Okay, the Nasdaq on a 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart has a closed P&L of 685 and it's currently short too from 74.37.75 right here. And so hard to tell if this is going to come up and test the high or if this is going to be a lower high and then roll over. Just impossible to tell today. I haven't looked at all my other market internals. That might give me a better idea, but just looking at the chart, it's anybody's guess which way it'll go. Okay, next up is the crude on a 30-second line break chart, and this looks like it only had well, it had one loser here and then it had a couple of losers at the end and it dragged down its equity quite a bit. Looks like it made an equity high of a little bit over 1,000 and then settled in at 640. Our goal on this is 2,000. It's a bit ambitious. Had we had a goal of just 1,000 like most of my other crude charts, it would have stopped here. Okay, we have another open position on the Emini S&P 1-minute line break chart. This drew down about 150 per contract and then came back. We have a closed P&L of 200 and an open P&L of 225 on 2 contracts. We had a modest gain on the Nasdaq 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, and it looks like we drew down about 400 per contract. Okay, the Emini S&P on a Super Renko 4-tick chart is trading 3 contracts, I believe, and it has a closed P&L of 237.50 and an open P&L of 175, so almost 500 for the day here. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching today.